Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a much requested review on these oval brushes. Now this set in particular is the golden black one from my makeup brush set company, which to me it's actually more like copper and gold, but you know. This brush set runs for $40, which is really good compared to some of the other brands that I've seen out there for oval brushes. I've used a few of them so far. I've used this larger one, I really like it. These as well, and I've been liking it. I don't use these other smaller ones too much because I feel like they're really good for like cream contour, but I haven't found like too many uses for that just because I don't cream contour like on a daily basis. But I will show you guys today how I would use them, and I guess you guys will see.
So for primer, I'm using the NYX HD primer. I'm not going to use a brush here, I'm just going to rub it in with my hands. Sometimes you just got to use the tools that God gave you. With this primer, I will say that you want to try to really rub it in and use a small amount because it will definitely help the longevity of your makeup, but when you first apply it, it leaves this white residue. So make sure to try to blend that in. And then for foundation, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Sand. To apply this, I'm just going to put about 2 to 3 pumps on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to use my finger to dot it all over my face. It just makes it easier this way than picking it up with the brush. I mainly just don't over put product on my face. For blending this out, I'm going to use the largest of the oval brushes. They don't really have a number system or anything on how to differentiate them. So you really just have to use the one that you're comfortable with. But for foundation, I tend to go towards the larger one. And when you're blending this out, you really want to blend down or going outwards. Don't buff in circles or go like inwards to your face, and try not to go up because I've noticed that it makes it look more textured and it can actually make it look not blended at all. So you want to try to keep that same like fluid motion of going down or out. And then for concealer, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in medium. And this was actually my first time trying it, so I'm just going to apply it the same way I would with any of my other concealers. I'm just going to apply like an upside down triangle under my eyes. And then to blend it out, I'm going to use the second largest brush. To blend it out, you're just going to do a similar technique that you did with the foundation. You just want to pull it down and out to the side. I will say that I use less product when I'm using these brushes just because it can really pull the product really far. A little bit really does go a long way. To contour, I'm going to use the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit in medium, and I'm going to mix the 2 light shades together with a couple drops of the Tarte Maracuja oil. I've just noticed that putting a little bit of beauty oil will make the consistency a little creamier instead of thicker. And then I'm just going to use this little dotting brush, and the set actually comes with 2 of these brushes, so I'm going to use one for highlighting and one for contouring. And really, I just want to put a little dot on all the high points of my face. I'm going to use the smallest thin line brush of the set, and I'm going to take those 2 colors to draw the highlight shade on my nose. And I really wanted to use the thinnest brush because I want to make sure that we make the nose look thinner, not thicker. So using this medium contour shade from the kit, also mixed with a little bit of the Maracuja oil, and then our other dotting tool, I'm actually going to start drawing all the little dots for where I want to be contoured. So it's mainly going to be around my temple and my forehead. Using the longest line brush, I'm going to go ahead and using the same shade, I'm going to contour the hollows of my cheek and also my jawline. Now these are areas that I really could have also used the dotting brush. The reason I didn't is because I wanted to show you how you could use this brush instead if you wanted to. Next, I'm going to use the mid-length line brush to contour my nose. And I'm really just going to draw a straight line going down the side of that highlight shade and then another little line right over my nostril. So you really want to make like a little V. And then I'm going to do the tip of my nose just to make it look a little bit shorter. And you really want to hug those three lines together because that's what's really going to thin out the nose. Using the smallest of the oval brushes, I'm just going to go ahead and start blending out that nose contour. You really want to make sure you use a small brush to not blend it out too much. And then using the second smallest oval brush, I'm going to start blending out all the contoured areas. Using the mid-size oval brush, I'm going to start blending out all of the highlighted areas. I wanted to use a larger brush for this and the smaller brush for the contour because the lighter areas take up more space on your face. So if you use a smaller brush for the highlighted, it's just going to take you a lot longer. So you want to use a little bit bigger of a brush. And then using this Maybelline Shine Free Loose Powder and Light, I'm going to pick some of that up and I'm just going to go ahead and dab it. Now here you really want to dab and not pull the powder, because if you pull the powder, just as if you're using any other brush, you're going to move around the product underneath and it'll make it look cakier. And then using the Smashbox Bronzer and Suntan Matte, I'm going to go ahead and start setting all the contoured areas. I'm going to add a little extra powder just to let that bake so we could get a nice straight contour. For blush, I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Exposed. It's just a very natural and very neutral everyday color. For highlight, I'm going to use the Hard Candy Baked Bronzer in the shade Tiki. This one's an oldie but a goodie. It's a really nice champagne everyday color.
Alright guys, so that completes this look and this review. Basically, my review on the brushes is that I personally feel like they work really well. I feel like they do blend out pretty good. They definitely make cream contouring easier. I doubled up. I made it a point to use every single brush so you guys could see all of them, close-ups, how they work, everything. And I even used a few of them as powder brushes so that you could see how they would work as that as well. For the finish, I will say that it blended everything pretty good. For the contour, I do just feel like right here it's a little heavier, but that was my fault. It was the first time I was using that brush for powder, and I didn't realize how much powder it picks up. So I will say that as a warning is that if you are doing it as powder, just remember that it will pick up a lot of it. So when you first put it down, it's gonna be probably a little heavier than you want, so just try to go a little bit lighter. Also, I wanted to mention that I do personally feel like it's a little bit thicker than I would usually wear my makeup, but I don't think that's due to the brushes. I just think that's due to the cream contour. I don't wear that very often, so because of the fact that it feels heavy on my face, but I know a lot of you do, and since I got these brushes, I will say that I have been cream contouring a little bit more. About the brushes themselves and the quality, to me, I feel like they're a good quality. Again, I have nothing to compare them to but other regular brushes. So I do really like them. I love the color. I love like anything that's like copper or gold and black. They all feel pretty sturdy to me. This is the only one that makes me nervous because it has such a thin stem and it's such a thick brush. So I always feel like it's gonna snap off or something, but so far it hasn't. So I'm really happy with that. The only other thing that I will say is that a few of them did come with like one or two like random long hairs. I don't know why. It didn't really bug me much, so I just trimmed it. But other than that, I really love them. For that price point, you can't really beat it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. The only other thing I will say is that this is also my first time using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I personally really liked it. I used the Kat Von D one, didn't like it that much. They both came out at the same time, and I actually switched over to the Too Faced one, and I've been liking it. I will say it doesn't have as much coverage as the Kat Von D one, but I don't have an issue with creasing or anything like that as well. The Kat Von D one I just felt looked a little bit dry around the corner of my eye, whereas this one I do feel like just hasn't really creased as much yet. So we'll see. So far I like it. But alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Bye!